Why would a mountain on the border between Germany and Austria be off limits to the public if it were just a hill? Why would there be an extensive cave system that is home to over 400 known caves, reaching depths of 1,148 meters, that was all just discovered in 1996? Old world dwarfs inside of a mountain. Are you ready? Who built the caves? Were these caves naturally forming? Of course not. And we know this because we are told that the Nazi regime constructed an elaborate network of tunnels and bunkers inside this mountain. Now, I'm going to ask you, did they build them or did they find them? Where the tunnels were designed with high domed roofs, wide floors, and there were valuables found inside. Where only 2 entrances to the tunnels have been unsealed and open to the public today. They're still using this place today, and we all know it. What was found inside this mountain? And we found multiple mountains at this point all over the world that have massive cities, they have buildings, and now we find domed roofs inside of a mountain. I told you we were just getting started. Anything and everything needs to be on the table at this point, where there are legends of Emperor Charlemagne sleeping within the mountain, cared for by dwarf-like creatures. What the heck did they find inside this mountain? And what's still there today that we don't know about? Why do these mountains have massive tunnels? They have buildings, as we've shown. Who is living inside as we speak? What's going on here in this place that we live? What are we being blocked off from? And why are these massive mountains, time and time again, restricted to the public by the military? The deepest and largest cave system in Germany, where it is largely unexplored. Who is still living inside these mountain complexes? Who's in there? Is it just the military? Or is there something much more going on inside? The legend may be more real than what we realize, telling us that there are small, powerful, and otherworldly beings said to live deep inside the mountain, pale-skinned, wearing robes or cloaks, and possessing knowledge of time, healing, and energy manipulation. This is everything that we've discussed on this channel, especially in the cathedrals. Is the previous civilization still here, where Charlemagne, who supposedly sleeps inside the mountain until the final battle, could still be in there? And I'm not in the business of dismissing things without looking into it. The place is off limits to the public. So I'm going to dig deeper. Why was the Nazi military so interested in this mountain, where not only is it restricted to the public today, but in 2014, it became even more restricted than ever before, with reports of heightened restrictions, all for preservation yet again, where the locals believe that these measures aim to conceal undisclosed activities or discoveries within the mountain, where somebody that we've all heard about was obsessed with this place. Why would he be so obsessed with a mountain if it was only just a hill, where it was his magic mountain? He called it the Sleeping Dragon and believed that it held mystical power. I wonder why. Did he figure out what was inside that mountain? He believed that the mountain had ties to ancient knowledge and the supernatural, the old world. These figures are depicted on the old world cathedrals. We have seen it all over the world. These are not myths, and they're not just art, as we are told. And this is all in my opinion, of course, and you can believe whatever you want, as always. I'm never going to tell anybody what to think. I'm just sharing what I find. Where he said that the mountain held secrets of the past. Inside, this place that we live is so much more than what we're told. The fact that the military was so interested in this location in Germany, and still is to this day, is telling in itself. And this is when we go even further and find that in 1987, 3 German hikers went hiking on this mountain, where their tent and equipment were found intact, perfectly fine. But then the men were all missing. And then they just reappeared 3 months later on a ship in the middle of the Red Sea that's 2,375 miles away, where even their car was found parked right there at the site with no recollection of the intervening time. By the time that they got back from Egypt, after calling their families from the ship, claiming that they had no recollection of getting there. They, of course, altered their story, saying that they just traveled there. They didn't have a passport, and they didn't have a car, and their tent was still on the mountain. What do you think? I believe that somebody told them to alter their story. It's incredible. And this is not the only time this has happened. This happens all the time, where hikers are constantly reporting experiencing sudden lapses in time while on the mountain. They're losing track of hours and they're blacking out. And they awaken in entirely different locations, showing up in other countries. And I believe that this is happening so much more than we're being told. Documented account, an engineer, a steel construction technician, and his experience at the mountain, I believe, proves that the old world civilization, they still may be here. And we are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 133 of My Lunch Break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. Wolfgang Stadler, an engineer, he wrote books about his experiences at the mountain. He described encounters with individuals residing within the mountain. People that still think that they're in World War II. This is still going on. They're under some sort of trance, and they're oblivious to the passage of time, showing no sign of aging despite the significant time that's passed. Now, if this place is off limits to the public, how did he get to go in the mountain? And how was he allowed to tell these stories? Wolfgang Stadler was a trained steel construction technician and very likely could have been given government contracts or infrastructure surveys. And then he writes these books under the name of Stan Wolf, where he presents the information as fictional, avoiding legal issues. His book, Gems of Dominion, was published in 2009. Now, all of this being said, I have no idea if there are actually things inside this mountain or other mountains all over the world. What I do know is that this place is off limits to the public. We can't just go walking around and go inside the complex. It is off limits. We know that military explorations were conducted within the last 100 years. We also know that a well-known figure stated that this mountain is a sleeping dragon, holding mystical power, and holds secrets of the past, with documented accounts of him referencing Charlemagne, the dwarfs, and the time anomalies. He believed that the mountain had ties to ancient knowledge and the supernatural. This is the old world. If militaries are restricting sites, if governments all over the world are extremely interested, and time again showing us that these are valuable locations for our research, then why in the world would we be dismissing it? They still do not allow us in these sites today. If there are small, powerful beings living deep inside the mountain, described as pale-skinned and robed, holding old world knowledge, old world healing powers, understanding energy manipulation. If these individuals are really here, I want to know about it. I'm not going to be dismissing things just because I've never seen it before or never heard about it in History 101. I want to know the truth, and that starts with asking questions. And that's what we've been doing all along. And I believe there are massive facts in play here. There is something going on in this location that makes me really wonder about other locations that we've already looked into, such as Raven Rock, the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, or even the Hoover Dam. What old world technology has been found? What is really going on inside these mountains? And we see the same thing going on in Iran, where we know that they have mountains too, and things going on inside of them. And we also know that that place, it has been in the news lately, where we are told that this location, they have elaborate networks of tunnels, high domed roofs, and wide floors. What's going on in there? Especially when we see that somebody built their so-called eagle's nest directly across from this mountain, just 6 miles away. He set up his eagle's nest, his mountain residence. You can visit this location today. They even have a restaurant, and it's a tourist attraction. And I'm guessing there are tunnels under there that connect 6 miles away, and it wouldn't shock me at all. Visitors can tour the pumping hall, and of course, some tunnels. Some tunnels. Some. Meaning that there are more. And you're not gonna get in the one that leads to the Magic Mountain. But we all know that it's there. It has to be. Access to the Eagle's Nest is achieved via Mountain Road, featuring 5 tunnels, a 124-meter-long tunnel leading to a brass-lined elevator that ascends to the building itself. Again, was all of this built, or was all of this found? Telling us that all of this was completed in just 1 year. Crazy. From 1937 to 1938. Are you sure? So-called Magic Mountain, according to a German FOIA request, is restricted to the public. You can't go in there. And there are even recorded denials of SAR imaging. Denials coming from German and Austrian authorities after 2014. Was this 2014 incident a real event? Or was it a stunt to restrict it even further to the public than what it was before? To restrict the use of satellite radar mapping. The use of satellite radar mapping have been blocked all for environmental and historical preservation. Preservation, conservation, protection. 3 words that restrict the public from seeing the truth. Over and over, we've seen this for years now. The exact same words every single time in every country and every topic that we bring up. Preservation, conservation, and protection. And before we go even further, let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. I appreciate all of you. It's awesome watching this community get bigger and bigger every single day. We are on YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on X, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. And thank you for liking the episodes as well. This helps push the episodes to brand new people that have never heard about this mountain and didn't know that German hikers were on this mountain, camping, car parked, and then without a passport, showed up 2,000 miles away from this mountain in a boat and had no idea how they got there in 1987. You are allowed to go in this mountain in some areas, which I definitely want to do one day. But most of over the 400 caves in this mountain are effectively off limits to the general public. Blocking these caves off due to historical significance or undisclosed activities. Undisclosed activities? Other sections just have barriers and just blocks us off without any explanation at all. And other sections are blocked off as water protection zones or plant conservation regions. I do believe that there is something crazy going on inside this mountain. I believe it's been going on for so much longer than we're all told, and this next part is the clearest giveaway of all. It proves, in my opinion, that we are correct, and that there is something going on in this location. It proves that something has been going on here for a very long time. There is an absence of publicly accessible records detailing the annual missing persons cases in Germany, Austria, and Bridgestegen, the 2 towns that surround this mountain. These 2 towns, they surround this mountain, and both countries agree, Austria and Germany, that they shouldn't disclose the missing persons cases in these 2 towns. Why? Let's go further. In 2017, Austria reported 10,000 missing people. And Germany, they noted that 1,600 missing minors in 2021. So these countries, they know how to do it. They know how to document these things. Why do they both agree and they both choose not to report the missing people in this location? We know that in 1987, hikers disappeared and then reappeared on a boat thousands of miles away, then told to change their story. Do you think that that was the only time this ever happened? It was documented in contemporary newspapers, but never acknowledged by official public case files. Why not? They deny SAR. So what is going on inside this mountain? I want to know. It's such a weird thing to do in a tourist-heavy area, near a location that has seen disappearances in the past. What is going on here? What's going on inside this mountain? Are these legends true? And why was the U.S. Army establishing a significant presence in 1945? Why was the U.S. Army repurposing this location? Why did they maintain operations until 1995, spanning over 50 years? What did they do? What do they know now? And what did they destroy? Other than their facility Cornerstone in 2000 to 2001. Do you think you know everything about this place that we live? I believe that we are just getting started. And I believe we are not being told the truth. Not one bit.